The Yardley Railway is a big part of the community in the village of Yardley. It brings food, medicine and other supplies to the village, but Yardley is also known for its coal. In 1962, the railway was closed down as money and maintenance could not be sustained. Without the railway, the people of Yardley couldn't survive, shops had to close and people started moving away. A year later, the people of Yardley decided that to save their village, they would have to reopen the railway. Eventually they asked the LMS to reopen their railway, but the railway committee said, "We know you are doing your best to reopen this line, but you simply don't have enough time or money to fix and build a railway for such a small town." The townspeople were outraged and decided to hold a meeting outside the school. "I can't take my livestock to market without the railway.
The buses can barely fit through these streets, and they are always late.
How am I meant to visit my sister in Brighton? We don't have a car and those buses don't go that far."
Quiet, quiet!
This man was called Max Davis. He used to work on the railway till it closed.
If we're going to get this railway running again, we will need workers, station masters, signalmen and more. As I know, a lot of you people used to work on the railway, so we will need people like you for the railway committee. One of those being me. Now, who else is interested?
4 people stood forwards, the first being Charlie David, who knew a lot about signals and signal boxes. The second was Jonathan White, who used to run the maintenance works and P-Way on the line. The third was Shirley Kent, who organised the timetables of the trains leaving and coming. Last but not least was Mike O'Donnell, who worked in the Yardley coal mine. They all told Max what they used to do and where they could work.
Right then, that is settled. That was easier than I thought.
Wait, how are we meant to reopen the line without any money?
I'm already working on that, don't you worry.
One other thing. Where are we going to get engines from?
I know 2 engines at the coal mine.
Then we shall go looking for them tomorrow. But first I've got some business to attend to.
Max drove off in his car to Lord Harry's estate. Max and Lord Harry had been good friends back in the 1950s, but Harry had made an investment into a project and had become very rich and decided to retire in 1957. Max went to go ask for some help. "Ah, Max, I haven't seen you in years. Long time no see."
Indeed, it's good to see you again, I have to say.
"You too. So, why are you here?"
We're in a bit of trouble with the railway.
"What kind of trouble?"
A year ago the railway closed because of financial problems, and since then the village has been struggling to survive.
I see.
Yeah, we were wondering if you'd be interested in investing some money into the railway?
Right, I see. Well, before I retired, I worked on that railway for years. You know, I will not let that railway be thrown away like that. Yes, of course I'll help.
Right, we'll come down to Yardley Station tomorrow and we'll tell you the rest of the plan there.
Alright, goodbye, dear chap.
You too.
The next day, Max, John, Charlie, Mike, Shirley and Harry met up at Yardley Station. What's the plan then?
Well, we're going to go down to the Yardley coal mine because apparently there are 2 locomotives there.
I see. One question, how are we going to get there?
Charlie has a lorry we can ride in.
That's right.
Well, let's head off then. Ten minutes later, they arrived outside the coal mine.
Where are these engines then?
Give me a moment. Ah, here they are.
Bit small, don't you think?
It's the best we've got.
A planet tank and a pug? Well, if it's the only ones we have, I guess. What are your names? The 2 engines looked at each other.
I'm Alfred. I was brought to shunt trucks round the mine.
And I'm Scott. I was brought to the coal mine for spare parts, but I was never really used.
Just before the mine closed, our master couldn't sell us to anyone, and the scrapyards wouldn't take us either because there were too many engines there already. Ah, I see. Well, Scott, we'll get you fixed up and get you working again. Don't worry.
Thank you, sir.
Meanwhile, John will go look at Alfred and see if he needs maintenance.
John inspected the engine to see if it would be able to be used.
Well, Alfred seems fine to me. A few minor repairs here and there, though.
Alright, that's excellent.
We still need to fire him up and get him to move, so he may not work.
They tried to get Alfred's fire alight.
Come on, work, you piece of crap. Hey!
After 5.5 minutes, the fire was burning well.
Good news, the fire is burning very well.
Great, well, me, Max, and John will go back in Alfred and take Scott with us. And Shirley, Charlie, and Mike go back in the lorry. And so both groups headed back to Yardley Station. When they got back, they talked for a little while. Then Shirley, John, Charlie, and Mike went home. But Mr. Davis and Lord Harry stayed a while. Lord Harry walked up to Alfred. Alfred, do you know of any engines that could help us run the line relatively cheap?
No, sir, but I do remember Scott telling me about 2 engines from the scrapyards nearby. I think it was a Terrier, a Compound, and a Ginty, sir. Or something like that.
Right, well, thank you for the information, Alfred. I'll ask him about it.
No problem, sir.
Harry told Max about the engines. Then they went over to Scott, who was sitting in the sheds. Yeah, they were good friends of mine. We all did odd jobs around the stretch of main line. As far as I know, they haven't been scrapped yet. There was a standard 4 as well.
I see. Well, right now we don't have the money to buy them, but there's one thing we can do to get them.
Mr. Davis told Lord Harry the plan.
Be here at 10 o'clock tonight.
Sure thing. So Harry and Max went to their homes to get ready for the plan. Later on, Lord Harry was just about to leave the house to go to the station, when all of a sudden, his wife, Jessica, came walking up behind him.
Where do you think you're going?
I have some business to attend to.
Why have you been late these past few days? It's like you're...
No, don't worry. It's just something to do with the railway. Jessica's face smiled a little.
You mean it?
Yes, of course I do.
Well, you've never lied to me before.
Harry held her hands and kissed her. Look, I'm gonna have to go. I'll see you later. I love you.
I love you too.
Harry smiled at her and left for the station to meet Max.
That was whistling breathing in, by the way. I'm really impressed I just did that.